And hey, welcome to the Restaurant Coach Podcast. It is the cure for the common restaurant. I am honored and very, very excited to welcome Michael Kontras here tonight as my guest. Michael is a couple things about Michael. Michael is number one, he is the owner of Bailey's Seafood in Buffalo, New York. And Michael is also, full disclosure, Michael is also one of my certified restaurant coaches. And together we are trying to help as many restaurants as we can break free from where they are to where they want to be. Michael, I want to say thank you for taking the time. I know you're like me, man, coaching. But I want to say thanks for jumping on the podcast tonight. Tell people a little bit about your background and about how you got started in this crazy restaurant business.
All right. Well, thank you for having me, Donald. It's my pleasure and my honor. But how to get into this business? I was born in this business.
There you go, like me. Yeah, it's like, yeah.
So like you're automatically, you come out of the womb and you're working in a restaurant. So this is what happened. This is what happened to me. So all my relatives, everybody I know growing up, were just in restaurants our whole life. And my parents, they bought like a really crappy old fish market back in the day, 38 years ago. It was a fish market. So we used to fillet fish, and the trucks would come and we would fillet and scale fish, and we didn't have heat for like 10 years in the store. It was really hardcore. And then fast forward, I went to college, and I said, I want to have my own business. My father's like, buy the store for me if you want to be your own boss. It's the greatest thing ever. I'm like, sounds beautiful, awesome. I'll be my own boss. I can take vacations. I'll make so much money. And so I bought the fish market from them, and then I realized that I didn't want to wake up 5 o'clock in the morning to scale fish or to order fish or to order seafood, or it's not fresh. You got to send it back, and then I slowly converted it to like a cooking area instead of just fresh fish. So eventually I remodeled it twice. I took out the whole fish market side of it, and we just do all complete takeout now. So we have 22 fryers.
It's quite impressive when you see like your social media and you see the bank of fryers. I mean, it's pretty impressive to see 22 fryers lined up and they're pristine too. I mean, super.
Yes. It's I'm proud of those fryers. I'm proud that we clean them and keep them so clean. Yeah. It's
so a lot. And then a lot of people might not know that, Michael, even though he is a certified restaurant coach with me, Michael actually started off as a client. Michael actually started off, he joined my accelerator program, 2 years ago?
Like 2.5, yeah.
2.5 years ago, yeah. And Michael, tell this story about, just quickly tell people where your mindset was when you decided oh my God, I'm just I can't take this no more.
Yeah, well, we were super, super busy. We were always super busy. And it was kind of like the neighborhood seafood joint. Yeah. And we were just always packed on the weekends, and there's lines out the door. But even from when I was younger, I just remember my parents, they could never pay the bills on time. Vendors were always calling, and we're always making excuses like, oh, we sent the check and we'll pay you next week. And this is a constant growing up in my life, constant. And fast forward, I found myself doing the same thing, just constantly struggling to pay the bills, and it was super busy. And everyone thinks you're a millionaire because you're so busy, but money just comes in and it goes right out. And then but I knew how to invest early, so I kind of had that mindset of investing and saving. Like I knew how to grow my money, and when it was busy, we made money, but in the summertime, we lost money, so it was kind of like breaking even. Right. And then I'm like, I'm doing something wrong here. I cannot figure out what I'm doing wrong here. I didn't, whenever I heard P&L, I was afraid. Anything financial, I was just, I ran away from it.
Most restaurant owners, man, we get into business.
Now I know,
food, and we like the hospitality part, but man, the money part, the finances, the spreadsheets.
Yeah, like I know when I say P&L to clients and their eyes gloss over, and I'm like, oh, that was me. So I can't say that.
I get you. Yeah, me too. That was like me. Because I had been a chef for years before I opened my first restaurant, and I figured those rules don't apply to me now since I own my own restaurant. I can do what I want. I don't need to do inventory, cost out my menu. Who needs to do that, right?
Yes, exactly. So that was and then I came across you online, actually a couple people, and I was like, I want to interview some guys because I want to make sure they know what they're talking about. And then I think you were interviewing me actually. So and then we, I joined, and here we are. Here we are. Great. I learned everything. I mean, I was doing all the work, and we're meeting every week, and I don't even think I missed a call with you.
You never missed a call.
Yeah.
You never missed a call. And in all the time too, so all my clients also have, they all have access to my private cell phone number. And if they ever have an emergency, they know they can text the code word to me, snake bite. And I think Michael didn't snake bite me for like 2.5 years. He finally I got one from him. Like, but usually I'll say like most clients, usually probably within 6-8 months, they give me at least one snake bite. But yeah, it's been good. And here we are. So Michael went from, again, like most restaurant owners, chained to his restaurant, working 7 days a week, all day, all night, can't leave the restaurant, putting out fires all day. Now, Michael actually has his restaurant up and running super smooth. I mean, you have less people now, but you make more.
Oh yeah, we started with 19 people, and about 2 million, a little under 2 million with 19 people, and like no profit. So we cut the menu way down.
Yep.
Now we're down to like between 9 and 11 with the same sales, 20-25% profit every month.
Every month. Like a machine too. Yeah.
Yep.
In fact, and this goes back to the point where, a lot of restaurant owners talk about getting the restaurant and life they want. Michael actually is living proof of this, that the system works. So the TRC method is what we teach in our coaching program. The TRC method is a step-by-step process map, basically. And it's basically a frame within a frame. And we always say it all the time. If you want to win the game, you just got to follow the frame. And Michael followed the frame. Here's the thing. It works.
Yes.
And so now, Michael, actually, you bought a house in Costa Rica.
Yes. We go on vacations like 4 times a year.
Yeah. Before, like, you never got vacation.
Yeah. And, when we go on vacation, sometimes like we'll talk about it with the crew, with the team all together, and we'll close and we'll pay them too. So we'll pay them, we close, they go on vacation, we go on vacation, like everyone's happy.
That's perfect.
And they deserve it. So this is like, I would never thought this would happen in a million years ever. So
and that kind of leads us into the thing I want to talk about first is like, leadership is so critical in restaurants.
Yes.
What do you think is the number one trait a leader needs today?
You can come from all different angles. I think the number one thing for a leader is you need to know your vision and just follow that vision no matter what. You cannot stray from that vision or your goal. And you need to let everybody know that's on your team that no one is fucking with my vision or my path. And once you exert that energy, then you're a leader.
Yeah. Nothing's, this is our destination. That's where we're going. Yeah, you're either on board or off board. It doesn't matter which one you choose. I've always been the same way too. It's like, if you decide it's not for you, that's cool. Shake hands, go find another restaurant you want to ruin.
And if you're in the way, you're just cut off. That's it. There's no turning back. That's my superpower, is cutting
that
them
is
off.
a superpower. It is a superpower. You got to be able to do that. You have to be able to just move people out of the way.
Yes.
So many restaurant owners are hesitant of it. They are so hesitant to get rid of the dead wood.
Yeah. I mean, now that I'm coaching and I'm talking to all these clients and people are just like, I'm not doing that. I'm not firing this person. I'm not doing this. And I'm like, it's so obvious to me that you need to fire these people or get rid of, this is toxic and your culture is toxic and you need to like clean house. And people are just like, I'm not doing this. And I'm like, oh my God, then keep working 18 hours a day.
Change your restaurant. Keep doing the same thing you're doing. Yeah. If you want different results, you got to take different actions. Most restaurant owners are the definition of insanity.
Yes.
Do the same thing over and over and expecting different results, or they hope. It's like, I hope it's busy. I hope we have some changes. I hope things manifest. I hope we get some business. I hope we get this and that. And then what happens is it never happens. And then next thing you know,
it's like a mindset issue. Like, I'm glad that you have all these mindset modules, because people don't even realize they have mindset issues at all. And I think this is the number one thing just from all the clients that we have, that mindset is everybody's issue, like right off the bat,
Yeah, and then we talk about like the TRC method basically is a frame within a frame. And the basic frame, I would say like the main frame we teach is called the 3P framework. And the 3P framework is people, product, process. And in each one of those kind of modules, each one of those sections or combinations, there's another little series of blocks. Like in the people part, it's always mindset first, your mindset, and then culture, and then hiring. Where a lot of people, call us, about coaching and like, oh, I just need to hire better people. I just need people. I need some staff. Or I'm not getting good people. Well, you're not getting good people because your culture sucks.
Yeah.
And your culture sucks because your mindset sucks.
Yep. And this took me like 6 months to realize that.
Yep.
It's all about culture, because we didn't know. I mean, we had such a toxic environment. I mean, for like 30 years, like 20 something years, toxic. Like, and I didn't know anything else. You have to yell at people. That's it. You just like that's
Well, that's my dad. My dad, like, break them down, build them up.
Yeah.
So, I explain this about my dad all the time. My dad's philosophy again was that break them down, build them up. And I use the kind of stories like, you ever take something apart and put it back together, and then you have one screw that's missing? That's what happens when you break people down and then you try to build them back up. You break them down, you broke them, and now like Johnny's in the corner, like talking to himself and like, oh my god,
our dads would have been friends, I think.
Our dads would have been fucking best friends, and it would have said that we were fucking. So one of the things I believe in, and you hear me talk about a lot, so you see it on my Instagram, you see it in my, we talk about it in the podcast and the books, self-care. Self-care, I feel, is so it actually goes back to that mindset stuff, because if you don't take care of yourself, your body, your being, your balance, and also especially your body, you just don't have that energy and that drive and that just passion inside of it. What do you do to take care of yourself?
Well, I mean, every morning is a workout, something. Right now, I'm just doing cardio. I injured my arm, but we'll do cardio. We eat good anyways. My wife is Bulgarian and I'm Greek, so we do that Mediterranean diet, like diet. By default, anyways. So that's what we do to take care of ourselves. Meditation, journaling every day. We do stacking in the app, and that's what we do to take care of ourselves. And it's easy now because my wife does it as well. So this is just our lifestyle, how we live.
It's so easy when you got a partner that's supportive like that and does it with you. So
and also having days off and just going on date nights and things like that as well. Just hanging out together and just making the house like a home, like an environment, like a happy environment to live in.
Yeah. That's not going home and just complain about work all night.
Right. And and it helps not having cable. Like, we don't really watch TV, so we just a lot of hangout time. So it's good.
Yeah, I don't have cable.
I don't even know what's on TV.
I don't have cable. I don't need cable. I don't need cable.
So
so,
that's what we do. Take care of ourselves. Yeah. So
perfect.
It's simple.
And then when we're talking about the core principles of the TRC method, how would you say it differentiates from like those traditional kind of restaurant coaching approaches?
Well, the traditional ones are just a lot of checklists and do this, do that. The TRC, like the people, product, processes, you're building everything from the foundation up. So you can apply it to really anything in your life, really anything. You can run, and I tell clients this all the time, because they're, people try to, what's your experience? And I'm like, but you can use the TRC method to run a hot dog stand in a gas station or like a Michelin star restaurant. It's the same principles.
Yep.
So I think this is what's different from everything else. Plus we have live group calls, we have live coaching as well. So that's a difference. And you have all the experience as well. Like you're the number one restaurant coach in the world. So you can't beat that. So once you join, you're like, you want to lock in. It's almost a proven path of success. It is. You just have to do the work. That's really all it is. Do the work.
How many years you been in the restaurant business?
Oh my God, my whole life. Yeah. I'm 48 now. I've been working since I was 12 years old in the restaurant.
Yeah. So you're like me. Between the two of us, we probably got like 80 years of experience between the two of us.
Oh yeah. And you see everything. You've seen everything as well.
And that's the beautiful thing about the TRC method, and what I've done is, as far as the restaurant coach brand, 15 years, 3,000 restaurants in 23 different countries.
Yeah.
See, here's the thing I tell you, and I say it in all my books. It works because all business problems are people problems. And the TRC method and coaching works on the people problems. And that's the biggest, I would say that's probably the biggest change that we see.
Yes.
Now, when people implement the TRC method, what immediate changes tend to occur in the operations as far as like team dynamics?
Oh, right when you're implementing, especially the core value stuff, you see who's on board. So you see who's giving pushback. So this is something that you taught me as well. And so you have A, B, and C players. And I had like all C players. So what happens is once we never really had A players before, so once you start getting A players inside your restaurant, everything changes. You can teach people things. You can start implementing things. People will listen. You're not micromanaging. This is all things that you had to do when you have C players and B players. But as soon as you get A players in there, it's a whole different ballgame. I mean,
a whole different game,
completely different. And this is something I had no idea. I didn't even know anything like this even existed. I didn't know A players. Like I didn't know people can actually you can tell them to do something and then walk away and they'll actually
they'll do it
better than you do it. So I'm like,
they'll do it.
This is insane. Pay me a little bit more money and they work for 2 people.
They're doing shit. Yeah. I always say and look at you now. I mean, you had 19 members. Now you got 10. You got half the staff. Yeah. And you do just the same amount of sales, and you're 5 times more profitable than you were before.
Oh yeah. Also the process, cutting down, because you really focus in on just little things like minor details, but hundreds of them, and then those added up will just cut costs and cut labor, and you're just running a super smooth operation, And this is what we've done. It's crazy. It's crazy the changes we made. I mean, we have so much space in our restaurant now. It's unused, Oh, yeah. So
now, for a lot of restaurants struggling with guest satisfaction, what tools or strategies do you say the TRC method offers to help improve that area?
Oh, I mean, there's so much. I mean, just how we talk about just the Google reviews, just answering all Google reviews is the number one thing. Yeah. Just how we treat guests, things like that. And this is something that we never really think of. I mean, if you're a restaurant, you kind of think of that, but just how you greet somebody and just little things, even when they leave your restaurant, you greet them on the way out, greet them on the way in. These are all things that we never think of when you have a restaurant. You're too busy thinking about the food, which is just it's a piece of it, but it's not the whole thing at all. Yeah. So this is something we learned as well. You just have to treat the guests like family. They're guests. They're guests in your restaurant.
Yeah, guys. We don't use the word customer. That's what.
Right.
There's a couple we call them taboo words in the TRC kind of world. Some of the taboo words we do not use. We don't use customer. We always say guest.
You actually sent me I posted something on Instagram one time with the word customer on there, and then you texted me and you said, what did you say? Do you remember that?
What are you doing? I was like, what are you doing? We don't say customers.
Yeah.
We don't say staff. We say team.
Right.
We never use the word try.
No,
that's the worst word in the world.
Yes.
Don't ever tell me I would rather you tell me to fuck off than tell me that you're gonna try. Donald, fuck off. Okay, cool. I'm good with that. Hey, Donald, I'm gonna try. Oh my god, I'm gonna have a heart attack. Anytime I hear someone say the word try,
no, we don't try. We don't try.
We go Yoda on that. Do or do not. There is no try. We do not do the word try at all. Dude, that is the worst word we can hear any client say is the word try.
Yes.
Or should.
Yes.
Yeah. We hate that one too. Most people just should all over themselves.
Or maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, and I know I should cost out my menu. You should.
Yeah.
When would now be a good time, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, everything works. I mean, you're saying costing out the menu. That's another huge thing that most people don't really do. They think they're doing it, but they're really not. And then you're talking about theoretical food costs versus actual food costs, and these are things that I've never even heard of that before, ever.
Oh, yeah, most people don't.
Yeah.
It's when I'm interviewing people, if I sometimes I'll do some consulting for clients, and they'll have me interview people for GM roles or director of operations roles. And one of my favorite questions is, I always like to ask, tell me what you know about theoretical food cost. And it's crickets. They don't know what I'm talking about.
Right.
So for those people listening to the podcast, theoretical food cost. Theoretical food cost, there's 2 numbers you have to know. There's theoretical food cost and actual food cost. Actual food cost is how most restaurant owners operate. And I get a call every month. This is honest to God truth. Every month, someone will text me, email me, call, get on my calendar, and the first question they'll ask me, Donald, my food cost is 30%. Is that good? And I'll say, I don't know. And they go, what do you mean you don't know? Aren't you the restaurant coach? I go, yeah, but let me ask you one question. What's your theoretical food cost? And they go, I don't know. I said, that's the problem. Because, again, theoretical food cost is what we call perfect world or ideal food cost. It's when you cost out everything on your menu down to the penny. That gives you what's called theoretical or perfect world. Now, the world is not perfect. We make mistakes. We drop things get spoiled. Things get burned. I think, human beings are human beings. So you can't ever run theoretical, but you can run around 2% above theoretical. So that person who called me and said, my food cost is 30%. If they said my theoretical is 28, is my food cost good? I'd say, yeah, your food cost is really good because you should be able to run around 2% above theoretical. Now, if they're like the average restaurant in the United States, their probably theoretical is like 21. I mean, the average restaurant has a gap between theoretical and actual of 9%. So many people leave so much money on the table. And if your restaurant's below 5%, just understanding that gap between theoretical and actual, and then getting some tools from us, like the 40 Thieves of Food Cost, to close that gap down, we can easily add 5% to your bottom line in 90 days. Easy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Even just portioning, even just setting up portions.
Portion controls.
That's an easy 5% right there. Easy.
Easy 5%. Didn't you help someone with some portion control stuff?
Yes. He was doing. We tightened up his theoretical actual, and that's $13,500 a month in savings.
Yeah, in savings that goes right to him. Yeah. Just by making one tweak.
Yes.
One tweak. $13,000 by making one tweak.
Yes.
Here's the thing I'll tell every restaurant owner listening to this podcast today. It's not that you don't know what to do. You just are not doing the right things in the right order.
Exactly.
You're spinning your wheels. You're paying attention to things that you think are important. Like you think if I just hire people, anybody, or if I just market more, or if I just work on this, or I get some checklist, or I get a new software system. It's like what Michael talked about earlier, like traditional restaurant coaching approaches. They want to sell you some software. There's tons of restaurant coaching companies out there that will, hey, you just need our software. You just need to track your data. You need to train your people better. Well, training people is great. We love training, but it's more important if I have my culture right and I get the right people on board.
Yeah.
Then training is easier. How is it now today with your new team, with your A team in place, training compared to 2 years ago when you had a bunch of C players and you were trying to train them?
Oh, it's completely. I mean, we train with the meta glasses. We have a training library. It's training. It's just off the charts now. It's so easy. Plus, we've streamlined all our processes, and these are all things that it took a couple years to do. But just you're so used to doing things a certain way.
Yep.
And then when you change them, you're like, it's so much different. And training that way is so much different as well. But training A players is, it's so easy, and they train each other.
They want to perform.
Yes,
that's what they're A players. They want to perform. C players, they take the easy route. They always like cut corners. They're always asking for like subsidy. Hey, can I do it like this instead of that? I'm like, no, we do it like this.
Yeah, and it's such a difference. Just because, like I said, I was a client, and I've seen both sides of it. And and just seeing how C players perform, and just never want to be in this situation ever again. If there's even a hint of a C player, they're out the door. It's instant. It's almost like
we talked about that today on the mastermind call today. We talked about toxic people, like just cut them out fast. Cut the cancer out really right away.
Yeah. And it's funny how people are like, how do I find people? It's like they're out there. There's just you have to find them.
Exactly.
We can show you. We have the tools.
We have the tools.
We can teach you.
Yep. One of the things you'll get with any of our coaching programs, and and we have a lot of different programs available. If you're not sure like what coaching program is best for you, the best thing I can do is I say go to my website, therestaurantcoach.com, apply and speak to me personally, and I will be able to guide you based on what your restaurant's at right now. So a lot of times our coaching programs are based on your profitability. So like if you're below 5%, we have a certain thing we want to put you into. If you're below like 5 to 10%, we have a different program for you. If you're 10% or higher, we have a different program for you. Because where you're at with profit also determines what your mindset is. Because we also know from doing this for 15 years that we can't give you advanced stuff if you're in desperation phase. It's like Maslow's hierarchy of need. If you're worried about shelter, you're worried about paying payroll and paying bills. I can't teach, paid funnels. Geofencing. You're like, right. Dude, like I gotta make payroll, man.
Yeah, even people, when you're asking what their profit percentage, most people don't know.
They don't know,
which means is like zero.
If you don't know, what do we say? If you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business. In fact, you don't have a business, you got a hobby.
And a lot of people have accountants too that they still don't know their numbers.
No.
You know, with accountants.
Well, accountants tend to be, and I'm not beating up on accountants here, but most accountants tend to have a certain way of doing things, and restaurant P&Ls are a lot different than like a regular like retail store, you know, or a mom and pop little place, you know, that you're running down the road. So looking ahead, what do you see the TRC method evolving to meet the future needs of the restaurant industry?
Oh, I see. Oh my God, there's so much. I see using tech.
Oh yeah.
A lot, especially for training, even marketing, like AI stuff, which we're going to get into. I'm super psyched about that.
Yeah, we got some really cool stuff coming up.
Yeah, just a lot of even for interviewing. There's just AI is literally going to be everywhere. You still need manpower, obviously.
You do.
But I think the future of restaurant is just way more efficient. I think smaller menus are the way to go.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I think tighter processes and just easier steps to build a plate. I think that's the way to go. I think people's attention spans are way shorter than before, which leads to simpler food, what I think is going to happen.
And one thing, Michael will probably back me up on this too, is one thing you know about me is that I never stop evolving. I am always like pushing it. I'm always trying to come up with new stuff. I'm always looking for new ways to help all my clients get better results. So like our TRC method has a solid foundation, but we're always building new layers, and we're just kind of reinforcing all the training and stuff like that. And in our library, in the TRC method universe, the library we have, I mean, I think it's 1,000 hours of videos, 500 different downloads you can take, templates, stuff like that. There's never something you couldn't learn.
Yeah. I mean, I can even tell you today, like an example. You were talking about recipe cards, which I'm going to do a presentation on the Vault on. But recipe cards, how do I make recipe cards? And I was like showing a client with chat. I'm like, go on chat GPT and make a recipe card. Oh, that's super cool. I never even thought of that before. I'm like, yeah, it's super easy. Put it in. And I was showing her. I was sharing my screen. And she's like, then what? And I'm like, all right, leave a little space. You're going to put a little QR code there. She's like, what is that for? I'm like, because that's going to be a QR code that's going to lead to the video of you actually making a dish and plating it. How am I gonna make the video? I'm like, with meta glasses. She's like, what is that? I'm like, here's a link to Amazon. So that like blew her mind, completely blew her mind. You know, these are all stuff that we learned from the TRC method. And these are all things you can't learn from checklists. These are all things that, like I said, this is tech. This is all evolving stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
And anytime you're doing any kind of coaching program, here's the thing, and I'm just, of course, we would love to have you in our coaching program, but if you're looking for a coaching program, there's 4 elements any coaching program should have. And this is why the TRC method is what we call an integrated coaching system, and not just a coaching program. It's an integrated coaching system. It should have 4 elements. Number 1, it should have some kind of online library, on-demand learning, where you can go on 24/7, have a username and password. You can go in, watch a library, watch some videos, whatever, on demand, whenever you need to. There should be some kind of group calls where you have networking and peer-to-peer accountability with other restaurant owners around the world. So we have 3 group calls a week, depending on your program, but usually there's 3 to 4 group calls a week that you can jump onto. Number 3, you need to have some kind of accountability person or a partner. That's where you get a coach, because having a coach, the coach will customize your program for your restaurant. Again, I write books all the time. You can read any of my books. You get tons and tons of ideas on how to make your restaurant better. But how do you adjust it? How do you modify it for your restaurant, your market? That's where coaching comes in. And then the 4th element that you need for a really good integrated coaching system, you should just have some kind of immersion training where they pull you out of your restaurant and have you come to a different location. Like we do every October, we have a 3-day restaurant success summit that's here in Scottsdale, where we bring in speakers and people come in, and restaurant owners come from around the world, and they have 3 days, 18 workshops, and it gets you out of your restaurant, which does a couple things. Number 1, it gets you out of your restaurant. Number 2, it just puts you in immersion where you're just in a state where you're with like-minded people that want to learn and grow and develop. Everyone loves the Restaurant Success Summit. And now we're going to be starting up again, doing our in-person workshops every other month here, also in Scottsdale, called Restaurant Owner Bootcamp. So if you just want, if you've never, hey man, this sounds really cool, but I'm not sure, I'd like to check you out a little bit. Hey, you know what? Buy a ticket to Restaurant Owner Bootcamp. Come down. Michael will probably be here too for a lot of the boot camps. Come on down, get to meet us, have 2 days. We go over what's called the 8 driving force of restaurant success. It's a 2-day workshop. You can get a lot of stuff. And even if nothing else, you'll walk away with tons of clarity, tons of practical tools, tons of ways to make your restaurant better.
Oh, tons. I mean, Donald,
yeah,
you're underplaying it. This is like when I went to my first summit, I remember I got back to the hotel that night and I called my wife and I was like, this is only the first day and I have a whole notebook full of stuff. I'm like,
yeah,
I left right now. We can make the restaurant way better right now.
Yeah.
Right.
And we do 3 days.
It's insane. The summit.
I don't think you've been to. You haven't been to Restaurant Owner Boot Camp yet, have you?
No.
Oh yeah. So next one is going to be in May.
Okay.
Yeah. So next one's going to be in May. It's going to be a 2-day Restaurant Owner Boot Camp. It's going to be a great one. I'll tell you, man. I love doing Restaurant Owner Boot Camps because number one, so the Restaurant Success Summit, it tends to be a little bit bigger, kind of a program, an event. Anywhere from 50 to 75 restaurants at the summit. The boot camp's really, really small. It's only 12. And I keep it small because that way you get a lot more interaction with me and I can actually sit down and we can sit and have lunch and I can really ask you questions about your restaurant, what's really going on. And I can actually give you some really good practical tools and some really good kind of guidance on how to break free from where you are. So Restaurant Owner Boot Camp is a powerful, powerful thing because it's really, really intimate and you get a lot more time with Michael and I. So
yeah. That sounds amazing.
Really
I'll be
cool.
there for sure.
That's awesome. Yeah. So you've been like me. You've been all around the world, all kinds of restaurants. What's the best meal you ever had?
You know, I got since I'm Greek.
Yeah.
The best. I'll tell you right now. The best meal I ever had was
Okay.
was on a beach in Greece after a long day. The restaurant was literally on the beach, and they had a big grill outside. And we didn't eat all day. And I told the waitress, we just want meat and like vegetables. We just hook us up. Like we don't even care what the bill is. And they brought a big tray. It was like chicken off the grill and steak, and it was fresh fish, and there was octopus hanging. There were grilled octopus and shrimp from, everything was caught fresh.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And that was the best meal. And I have pictures of it. I mean, it's just insane. It's just a mountain of food. That was the best meal I ever had. It was so rustic and it was just pure like food. It was nothing fancy. It was just on a wooden board, but that was the best meal I've ever had in my life, ever. I still remember that meal.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. Yeah. Oh, that sounds really, really amazing.
Yeah, it's a different ball game over there. It's different.
Totally different ball game. Yeah.
You can sit there for 4 hours and they don't kick you out. You know.
Oh, no. Well, I always say like in the United States we eat to eat, like just because I gotta get some food. In Europe, it's a social event. You go for hours. I mean, you don't think about time.
No.
Never. And when I'm in Europe and I'm traveling and I'm speaking and we go out to dinner in Europe, man, it's an event. It's an all-night event.
Oh yeah.
Hey, you don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Like in the United States, we're all about table turn. Like you got 90 minutes, so we got to turn tables.
Yeah, over there it doesn't apply.
It doesn't apply there.
Yeah, I would spend my summers in Greece growing up, and then so that's just how it is. Like when you go out to eat, it's like you're not going to be back in an hour or like 2 or 3. Like you're going to be back in like 4 hours.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's an experience. It's not just a food. It's not about just eating. It's about a whole dining experience.
Yeah,
it's about the social components. I mean, I love when I go to Europe. I just love the experience there and then unfortunately you get spoiled and you come back. Yeah.
Yeah, they're not about speed. Nobody cares about speed over there.
They don't care about speed at all. What do you think is the biggest problem you see with restaurants when it comes to profitability?
I just think people don't know their numbers and they don't know how to tackle it. They don't know. They just think, I'm not making profit. Let me add more items to the menu. That's the number one. Or I just need to market more. Yeah, I got to market more. I got to add more things to the menu. I got to be in the back cooking because the cooks aren't doing a good job and the food isn't good, and I got to make it better. But the number one thing that I've just from coaching is people are just adding more stuff to the menu. Yeah, they think a bigger menu is going to be better because we need to be more. We need to be everything to everybody. Yes. But the thing is, people don't know how to read their numbers. They don't know what a P&L is. They don't know how to read a P&L. They don't know prime cost. And I think that's the biggest problem because once you educate yourself on that, and it's super hard to do unless you have a coach. Very hard. Very hard. And once you learn how to do that, then you can pinpoint what the issue is and you can fix it really quick, as opposed to like calling your accountant and then him getting back to you in a couple months and kind of telling you what he thinks. But then by then it's a whole nother issue going on. And but I think learning your numbers and getting your prime cost is the number one thing restaurant owners need to know. I'm going to throw this out there right now. If you're listening to this podcast and you have no idea what theoretical food cost is,
and you have no idea what prime cost is, you need to call us because you need to figure out this shit right away. Yeah, that's like, and that's another question I'll ask, like if I'm doing interviews with people. Tell me what you know about what I'll throw out like a loaded question. I'll say, what's a good prime cost? You know, and then somebody will say 30. I say 30%. I say, if you can run a 30% prime cost, dude, I will have you run every restaurant I ever knew. No one can run a 3% prime cost.
Yeah, but nobody knows what it is though. It's crazy.
Nobody knows what prime cost is.
Yeah, even big restaurants, they have multiple locations. They still don't know. They're just they're barely hanging on, a lot of them. Yeah, and you can do big numbers, but I have clients that are like, I'm the most famous guy in town. I own these restaurants. I own this chain, and they don't know that I'm not making money. It's crazy.
And that's another thing. So prime cost, if you don't know what prime cost is, number one, you should call us because we help you fix it. Number two, if you do know what prime cost is, it's your food cost and labor cost put together. And there's certain numbers that we call our benchmarks that kind of tell me where you're at. So 65% prime cost is like the line in the sand. If you're above 65%, you're basically bleeding out. And the higher up you are, the faster you're bleeding out. Now, is all lost? No. I had a client, now she's been with me for 5 years now. But when she started with me, her prime cost was 143%. I mean, she wasn't bleeding out, she was hemorrhaging money. I mean, tens of thousands of dollars a month just hemorrhaging cash. Call me every week crying. It's just horrible, horrible situation. And we just took the 3P framework, broke it down, people, product, process, started implementing the steps step by step. Within a year, she had her prime cost from 143% to 53%. And she's been locked in at 53% ever since. Wow. And now she just makes money all the time.
Yeah. Amazing. And she didn't know probably what prime cost was.
She didn't know what prime cost was.
Yeah.
All she knew is my bank account's empty. That's all she knew.
Yeah.
You and I make the joke all the time, like a lot of restaurant owners, how you doing? I don't know. It depends what the bank account looks like. Well, that's not a way to judge the quality of like the success. Like, oh, there's money in the bank. We're doing good. Oh yeah.
I was there, man. I was there. Trust me, I was there.
All of us were there, man. I was like my first restaurant. I was there too. It's like, oh my god. Like, or we talk about it. I hope it's busy this weekend, so I can pay the bills on Monday. That's another. You're in that situation too. You need to call us.
Yeah. You're waiting for the holidays.
Yeah. I'm waiting for the holidays. I'm waiting for the busy weekend. I'm waiting for we got a big holiday. Oh my God, Mother's Day's coming up. It's gonna be great. We're gonna make some money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think people that have coach, like especially if you have a restaurant coach, you're already ahead of the game. You're gonna be better than 99% of other restaurants, like for sure.
So much farther ahead. Yeah.
Because like the average restaurant does what, like 5% profit, something like
average
that.
Average restaurant, 5%. Yeah, our clients actually average right now 19.8.
Yeah,
which is amazing.
Yeah, and
we've had people in the program. We have had people in our program in 6 months go from breaking even to 22% profit in 6 months.
Yeah,
so it could be
numbers.
Those are great numbers. Now, is that common for everybody? No. But if you're willing to do the work and double down and do what we tell you to do, it can happen.
Yeah, you just have to do the work.
That's it. Coaching is not a miracle cure. I tell everybody all the time, because the number one thing we're doing is we're trying to fix your bad habits.
Yes, bad habits.
Depends on how bad your bad habits are, depending on how much we got to work to turn you around.
Yeah. But we have accountability. Like, we're going to give you accountability. This is our biggest thing.
Feet to the fire, yeah.
And Donald will for sure. I know that.
Oh, trust me. I fire a client every week. Here's the thing about firing clients. If you're not going to do the work, Michael and I both believe this with our heart. We don't want your money. I don't want your money. I get paid for one reason. I get paid to get your results. That's exactly what I get paid for. Nothing else. I get paid to get your results. I'm not going to be your friend. I'm not going to be your buddy. Now, we can have friendly conversation on our coaching call, but you understand one thing. I am here to do one thing, to get you fucking results. And I will do whatever I need to do to get that.
Yep.
And if that means you don't want to do the work, then fine. Keep your money and just go down the drain with your business and just, have that sinking ship and just go down and, ego, pride, and denial take down more restaurants than anything.
Oh, yeah. You said it, and I see it.
You see it all the time. I mean, you've seen a couple of your clients too.
Yeah.
Going down that path, baby.
I heard you talk about it so many times, and I'm like, oh my, it's so true. It's so true.
It's so true. Ego, pride, and denial kills more restaurants than anything in the world. And we're talking about ego. I don't need any help. Pride, I don't want to ask. I'm just too proud to ask for help.
Mm-hmm.
And then denial, it's not that bad.
Right.
If your restaurant sucks, it sucks. Just be honest about it. Okay.
Yeah. And a lot of times it's not their fault. They don't know.
No,
They grew up
don't know
in the
any
business.
better.
They don't know. They didn't have a teacher. They didn't have a coach. Yeah.
You can't do better if you don't know better. You can't. You just can't.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So having a coach you're so far ahead of the competition by having a coach.
Far ahead. And here's the thing: coaches have coaches.
Yes.
Like Michael's a coach, a restaurant coach. He's a certified restaurant coach with me, but I'm also his coach.
Yep.
And here's the thing: I have coaches too. Why? Because I believe in coaching. That's another number one warning sign. If you ever have anybody hit you up to be a restaurant coach, if they don't have a coach, run. Because they don't believe in the power of coaching. Anybody who's not willing to invest in themselves to become better version of themselves is not a person you want to be. As your coach. I spend, and this is no bullshit, I spend easily $200,000 a year on coaching because it makes me better.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know if I become a better person, a better coach, I can help my clients better too.
And you do on the calls, 3 calls a week, 4 calls. Well, 4 calls we have. Yeah.
4 calls a week, 4 group calls a week, plus one-on-one calls to all our clients each week. Yeah.
Yeah. No, we can tell whenever you learn something, you share it with us. And it's
every time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's another reason I invest in coaching, because these are the guys that are and ladies that are at the forefront of what their industry is, and they're always giving me stuff on marketing, giving me stuff on this, and then I take what I learn and I teach it I share it with my clients, so you don't have to pay $200,000 a year for coaching like I do. you gotta kind of get it as kind of included, which is nice. It's really, really nice. Yeah.
But you can tell that this is working. You're showing us what you're doing, and then you're saving it to the video library. Yep. That we have access to. Yep. So this is just a library of, I don't know how many hours of videos.
Well, think about this: 4 hours of video a week that we do just in group calls.
Yeah.
4 hours a week times 52 weeks.
Yeah.
And we've done this for quite a few years now.
Yeah. You can go down rabbit hole after rabbit hole after rabbit hole.
No one can catch us. No one can catch the restaurant coach brand and the TRC method. No one can catch us. As far as the number, the quality, the quantity of content that we have, no one can touch us.
No, this is a class of itself. This is past world class.
There's the TRC method, and there's everybody else.
Yeah, and then people that want to be the TRC method.
Yeah, there are people that want to be the TRC method. That's the truth. And now, I tell you, it's the funniest thing in the world. Like, a lot of people ask me, like, how did you decide to do this restaurant coaching thing, become the restaurant coach? So when I started looking at restaurant to being actually a coach. So the economy crashed in 2008. I was consulting back then. And then I hired a business coach to help me rebrand. And he took me through the coaching process. And I was like, I really like this coaching process. And I asked him, I said, do you certify people to be certified executive coaches? And he said, yeah. And I have a certificate on the wall. I think it's back on one of these walls. I have a certificate. There's a bunch of shit back there. But there's all kinds of certificates back there. You can't see it, but there's all kinds of. And he took me through this thing, and then all of a sudden I was like, in 2009, I Google restaurant coaching. Nobody was calling themselves a restaurant coach in 2009. Nobody. So that's why I became the restaurant coach, and I branded it. I trademarked it. Now it's a registered trademark, actually. And here's the thing: you Google now restaurant coaches today. Everybody's a restaurant coach.
Yeah.
Everybody's a restaurant coach.
Well, somebody owned a restaurant, now they're a restaurant coach.
Yeah, or worse, they never owned a restaurant and they call themselves a restaurant coach. That's the worst.
Yeah.
There's 2 things that you should look for. If you're looking for a coach, number 1, your coach should have a coach. And number 2, they should have owned a restaurant.
Yes. 100%.
If they had never owned a restaurant, run. Because I'm telling you right now, there's a certain mindset and mentality that you have to understand as a restaurant owner that you only understand as a restaurant owner. Because you never put everything on the line, put all your life savings, put everything you have into this, your blood, sweat, tears, all put your home up. You have no idea the stress a restaurant owner goes through.
So true. Yeah.
We call it
there, yeah.
2 a.m. The 2 a.m. kind of wake up like, oh my God. Yeah.
I mean, we hear from the clients all the time that, they can't pay their bills. They can't. So it's like, I know how that feels. So it's easier coaching somebody.
So easy. I know exactly the pain you're at because I've been there. I've had that. Oh, and then suppressing and drowning all the pain and the stress with booze. Oh, horrible.
Yeah.
Eating junk food. I mean, there was a time I'm in decent shape now. I'm in probably the best shape of my life, and I'm going to be 60. And I mean, there was a time that I was like 285 pounds. I mean, just totally out of shape, just eating like crap. Horrible.
Yeah, and you wish you had a community to.
Yeah, I wish I did.
Speak with people, like even the TRC community. We have tons of members, and we have the group me app. We have the
500 members in the vault,
and everybody talks to each other. So I mean, imagine you're part of this group that other restaurant owners exactly like you are in, you're in the same group, and you can reach out to anybody you want and ask anything. You can ask a recipe. You can ask, how do you deal with this? And
we share recipes all the time with everybody.
Yeah, and you just ask like anything. Ask anything. Like, what's the best POS system to use? Like, what do you feel?
Or you get a lot of questions about like third-party delivery. How'd you negotiate your deal? And then you just tell them.
Yep. Anything.
The beautiful thing about the TRC method and the TRC community we call it the TRC Nation, is that the nation is all dedicated to helping each other. We want to help. Everyone wants to help each other. That's why it's such a powerful network that we have.
Yeah. It's cannot compete. I mean, there's nothing like this.
Nothing like
in the world.
Nothing like in the world. So if you came with a warning label, what would your warning label say?
My warning label?
Yeah.
Don't get in my way of my vision. Do not get in the way of my vision. Or my path.
Yeah. I got a sign on my wall. It's right over there. You can't see it, but it says, "You're either on my side, by my side, or in my fucking way. Choose wisely."
Yes.
That would be like my warning label. Just choose. I mean, here's my thing. I don't care what you choose. Just make a choice. Yeah, you're on my side, by my side, you're in my fucking way. Just choose.
Yeah.
Because I eliminate obstacles.
Exactly. Yep. I cut them off. You cut them off, and you just keep going. That's it. So there's no other way to do it. Especially if you're a restaurant owner and you have high stress, you cannot linger on things. You have to just cut them off and move on and keep going.
Now, you and I both know that culture is so important as far as restaurant success. What do you say is if you had to pick one thing is the key to creating a great culture, what would it be?
To creating a great culture is hire slow. Hire slow. And fire fast.
Definitely fire fast.
Hiring slow and hiring with intention is the number one thing.
That's true.
Yeah. That's the number one thing.
Yeah, one exercise we do in the TRC method is, we always talk about marketing. We talk about your ideal guest. Like, who is my ideal guest? Who is the ideal person I want to market to for my restaurant? Well, you should also have an ideal team member portfolio, kind of avatar. Who is like the ideal team member I'm looking for? Because I'll tell you what, your vibe attracts your tribe, and what you want, what you kind of put out there in the universe, you will attract to yourself. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, and this is the whole thing with taking care of yourself, taking care of your body, having that energy. Coming into your restaurant with that energy, and people have to match your energy, and it's super important. And I tell my clients all the time, only hire people that you are going to love to work with. If you don't think you're going to be able to work with this person, do not hire them. No way. Yeah,
we call that vibe check. If I had to work 12 hours next to you side by side, would I be?
Yes.
I can hang with Michael. Yeah.
Yeah. Do they pass the vibe check?
Pass the vibe check. Yeah. Yeah. What's one thing you think that restaurants can do right now to make more in 2025?
Oh, food cost. For sure. Get the food cost on. That's the easiest one.
That's the easiest one. That's like the low-hanging fruit.
That's easily, I don't know if you agree, 10% right there. That's
easy. 5-10%. Easy.
And food costs are not by like, oh, I make $3 on this dish, I make $5. Like, work with percentages. And then putting all that, once you have that numbers, then taking that data and putting into a menu engineering worksheet where you actually understand the stratifications, where you can actually extract out even more profitability in your menu, which is powerful. And inventory on top of it. Everything follows a path. Everything
follows a path. And trust me, and we have the step-by-step blueprint for you. So if you've never done it before, don't worry. We have a great workshop. It's called Food Cost Bootcamp. Food Cost Bootcamp will take you through the step-by-step process of understanding your theoretical food cost, and also how to use menu engineering to make more money, and also give you some tools on how to fix that gap between theoretical and actual food cost.
Yeah, this is like the Harvard of restaurant college.
I'm gonna use that as a quote right there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use that. This is the Harvard of restaurant college. Yeah.
Yeah, this is what it is. I mean,
restaurant owners. This is the Harvard for restaurant owners.
Yeah, you literally have courses online, and you have teachers. You have us coaches that they're going to give you. We're going to give you accountability.
Yep.
And you do homework. You do work every week, and you make money doing it.
And you make money. That's the beautiful thing. You actually make money.
Yeah. I mean, I mean, I don't know how many years worth of videos you have, but I mean, you can go for like 5 years. I mean,
4 years and never watch the same video.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, it is, and it actually, and we did set it up. So when I designed the accelerator program that we teach, I set up the accelerator program almost like a college course, where it's like there's 4 levels, just like freshman, sophomore, junior, senior year, and we basically call it, there's prime, there's pro, there's platinum, and plus. And every level is just a deeper dive into the 3P framework, a deeper dive into the people, deeper dive into product, deeper dive into process. And then we go to next level, deeper dive people, deeper dive product, deeper dive process. There's always another level. But here's the thing, you got to start off with the foundational stuff.
Yep.
You got to start with the foundation.
And you have to, because I hear a lot of people saying, this isn't going to work for my type of restaurant, but it works for every type of restaurant. I mean, you literally, once you go through the system and develop processes and your culture, the only thing, I mean, you can go from having an Italian restaurant to like an Asian restaurant. The only thing you have to change is your recipes. Everything else is you keep the same.
Yeah.
So you can use this as scale, just different concepts.
Yeah, this is how my restaurant groups do it. So they follow the 3P framework. The people part's always the same. The culture's the same. The way they hire is the same. The way they interview is the same. The way they train is the same. And then the process part on the back end is always the same. Checklist, accountability systems, how we do strategic planning, P&Ls, budgets, KPIs they look at. That's the same. And then all you gotta do is just plug and play the product part in the middle. And that's how these big restaurant groups do it.
Yeah. I mean, And
we'll give you the step-by-step process for it. In fact, I have, if you ever want to, if you're like, hey man, I just really want to go all in on this thing, I do have a very, very, now it's an invitation only program. You have to talk, reach out to me. And if you don't know how to reach out to me, you can always reach me at donald@therestaurantcoach.com. But I have a very, very super advanced program. It's called Restaurant Empire Builder, where I will give you a step-by-step plan on how to build a $1 million profitable brand. I'm not talking about $1 million in sales. I'm talking about $1 million in profits. And I've done it with 5 other restaurants over the last 15 years. So the program works. Restaurant Empire Builder is my top level program for those people that are just like this. I'm Donald. I want to go all in. I want to build a freaking empire. I want to have 5 restaurants in 5 years, and I want to have $1 million in profit. I will show you the exact step-by-step blueprint. I've shown 5 other restaurants to do this, and they've all done it. And now, I mean, one guy has 6 restaurants. He does close to 30 million in sales.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he's just crushing it.
Wow.
At 25% profit.
Yeah. Just hire a coach.
Yeah. And and how did it start? He hired a coach.
Right.
Hired me years and years ago.
Right.
Yeah. So how do you deal with stress?
How do I deal with stress? Well, I try to do the hardest thing in the morning is working out. That's big stress. So after you do something hard in the morning, then nothing's stressful throughout the day. That's how I deal with stress.
Perfect. And when you were a little
super
kid,
stressful.
And so when you were a little kid, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Not a restaurant owner.
Nobody wanted to be a restaurant owner.
But now I love it. Now I love it.
Yeah. What did you want to be when you were a kid, though?
What did I want to be? Well, actually, I wanted to be an astronaut. So that's what I wanted to be. I actually used to write letters to NASA. And
did you really? Nice. Did I ever tell you I want to be a zoologist?
No, you never said.
I wanted to be you remember Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom?
Really?
Yeah, I want to be like that guy. I want to be like Marlon Perkins. I want to be I want to be the guy out with the animals and running zoos and stuff like that. I wanted to be a zoologist when I was a kid. That's what I wanted to be.
I'm actually rereading. It's actually on my desk. I'm actually rereading a book called The Soul of an Octopus. I don't know if you ever.
No way. That's cool.
Yeah. It's about consciousness, animals. It's about it's about octopus having conscious, and and it's like a naturalist, and I think she's a scientist, and she does all these studies on octopus. It's just you should read it. It's a quick read. Soul of an Octopus.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah. So that's another way to relieve stress too, is reading.
I love to read. Yeah. So talking about that, like, name besides that book, is there another book or a podcast or an audio book that you would recommend?
I mean, I have books everywhere. I have Profit First.
I love that one. That's a good one too.
I just started reading this one.
Casey Anton. That's from Mike McAllowitz.
Yeah. I used to be big on like the Tim Ferriss books, like the 4-Hour Work Week. I like books like that. I'm not really into like fiction. I just like those kind of books. A lot of like Daily Stoic. I just read that one.
I love the Daily Stoic stuff. Yeah, lately I've been because I've been into the samurai kind of mindset, so I've been reading a lot of samurai books about the samurai way, Bushido code, things. Like that. So I've been really into those lately. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I like those kind of books too. Yeah.
What's a quote that you live by?
I'll tell you my quote. So it's from Confucius. He who conquers himself is the mightiest warrior.
There you go. Perfect. I love that.
What's your quote?
I have a couple favorite quotes. So my favorite quote, and I built my whole TRC brand. The TRC brand is built around this one quote from Zig Ziglar. You can have everything you want in life if you just help enough other people get what they want. That's probably my favorite quote. My second favorite quote, and this is a great quote for restaurant owners: if everything seems under control, you're just not going fast enough. That's Mario Andretti.
Yeah. There's also a quote that says, I think you might have told me this is, if you reach your goal, it means you didn't set it high enough.
You didn't set it high enough. Yeah.
That's a great one too.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So if you need to reach out to us, you can just go to my website, therestaurantcoach.com. Michael mentioned earlier, he does a lot of training. He does a lot of live training inside our TRC Vault. TRC Vault is our kind of like our exclusive private community, owners, chefs, operators. You go to the restaurantcoachvault.com and you can join it. It's a really great deal. We have a lot of training in there. You get a lot of stuff like to start off with. If you're not really sure where to start, again, you reach out to me. You can email me, donald@therestaurantcoach.com. And you can always just send me a message. We got the Restaurant Owner Bootcamp coming up in the October 20th, 21st, 22nd. It's going to be a Restaurant Success Summit in Scottsdale. Great stuff here. And if you're looking for, you want to just talk to us about coaching, that's the best way to do it.
If you have a restaurant, you should have a coach. 100%.
You should have a coach, yeah. Especially like we mentioned, like if you don't know what your theoretical food cost is, or don't even know what theoretical food cost is, you don't know what prime cost is, you definitely need to contact us.
Yes.
Definitely need to contact us.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, and you can reach out to me, donald@therestaurantcoach.com. You can always go to the website, therestaurantcoach.com, and you can book a call. And then pretty soon, Michael will be taking some of those calls too. So we'll probably talk to either Michael or me.
Yeah, book a call. We'll talk to you guys.
We'll be more than happy to get you going in the right direction.
Yeah.
Yep. And again, we have a program for no matter where your restaurant is. So we always base it on profitability, because profitability is mindset. So wherever your restaurant is with profitability wise, we will put you in the right program. We're not going to just sell you we're going to sell you you're going to get a Cadillac Escalade with all the things you need. Donald, I just need a car to get to work. All right. Well, this Escalade still. No, we're not going to put you in a high-end vehicle. We're going to put you in the vehicle that's going to be best for you, for where you are now. And then as you learn and grow and improve, then we'll elevate you.
Yep. You'll get in that Lamborghini.
Then we'll get you in the Lamborghini eventually. You get the Lambo eventually.
Yes.
Right now you're starting with a Prius. Then we're going to move you up. Nothing wrong with Priuses, by the way. Yeah. All right. Thanks, Michael. I appreciate you being here. And if you have any questions, you reach out to us. Everyone have a fantastic day.
Thank you.